the data is both affirming and disturbing in what we see happening in U.S. education in math and literacy. As a practitioner, as a former English learner, as a Black immigrant, I look at the ways in which we classify students and wonder, is it time to take a look at ways of better classifying groups of students to better inform the work of our practitioners?
I'm going to address this question in terms of what I think is most relevant and what's happening in the federal statistical community at this time. There's a directive that is being revisited by the Office of Management and Budget. In our vernacular, we call it OMB. And the directive is Directive 15. It's entitled Standards for Maintaining, Collecting, and Representing Federal Data on Race Ethnicity. It is essentially how we collect information about the race of the student and the race ethnicity of the student in our data collections. Well, in June, the chief statistician of the United States made a decision that she's going to revisit this directive. And she's asked the federal statistical system, all of the major federal statistical offices, including the National Center for Education Statistics, to help investigate the revisit of how we collect these data. So Jean-Claude's question is right on the money. And Jean-Claude, you should expect to see information coming out in the next year or so.
As I think about the issue that Jean-Claude was raising, it brings to mind a couple of points that we've been talking about at the National Assessment Governing Board. One is keeping in mind and helping readers keep in mind as they look at the results that we report that these subgroups that we report results for have a lot of diversity within them.
Yes.
They're not homogenous. Even when there are differences in achievement on average, there's quite a bit of overlap across the groups. And then secondly, that there's a lot of overlap across the different dimensions on which we break out the data. So Jean-Claude mentioned being an English learner and Black American, also an immigrant. This, it's really the intersection of these identities that captures an individual student's experience. And I think we've continued to try to find ways to make sure our reporting is sensitive to those realities.